just 30 under 30, mega mind. There she is. She is the unbelievable. Just you're it. This is Charlotte. Made my day. You just lit up the screen.
Full of energy.
Miss you. Charlotte and I used to do the SAP Networks Thursdays on artificial intelligence, which turned into more what I think is an energetic show. It was amazing, and we'll do more together. But just look at her. Where are you right now?
I'm in Manhattan. You can see the Hudson River just down there, the big convention hall, Javits Center. So I really saw that. I experienced the last months truly here in the heart, the epicenter.
Well, you guys are all in New York, but Charlotte's very special to me because I know that she's been separated from her family, which is halfway around the world. And, just our separation, these two guys to this side of me are like brothers. And this is the longest I've gone in years without seeing them in person, hugging them, giving them a high five. I couldn't imagine being away from my family as long as well. What types of things have you been to have that emotional connection, and has it strengthened because of this, or has it been a great separation or resistance because of it?
Well, I can tell you, I do have quite an extraordinary journey. It already from my childhood, from the age of 10, I'm a very, very strong family believer, very, very strong family person. For me, family is everything, and it's top priority number one. And with the age of 10 and a half, I received a music scholarship to move by myself to Switzerland to study in a British boarding school with 3 languages, English, German, French, really in the Swiss Alps, and grew up as a mountaineer guide back then. And I was already at a young age, I learned how to live with this virtual connection. Back then, my parents, they lived in Dubai and Germany at the time. I'm originally half Swedish, half Belgium, so really a mix. And having grown up in this boarding school, it helped me to be able to adapt to different communities. So that knowledge, that learning curve back from my childhood, how to live literally with your mobile phone and be in touch with your family over the phone. I have relived that experience right now, and we are in touch 4 or 5 times every day. They're my best friends. My mom, my dad, they are both medical professors. David had the honor of also speaking to my brother at one of our podcasts, and I am truly now have grown very fond of this virtual connection. So although we are far apart physically, we are emotionally, we are very, very narrow, very much connected all the time.
That's awesome, Charlotte, and good to see you. I think we last saw each other, all 4 of us, right before everything went down. So it's really great to see you, and I'm glad you're doing well, and it's always good to see your smile. I'm glad you touched on the word adapt, because that's where I was going to go with my question to you. You've accomplished so much, and you have folks around the country and around the world right now that are looking at COVID-19 and everything that's going on as such a tragedy, which it is, because people losing their lives, but they don't know what to do with their business. You being the creator that you are, being involved in technology and innovation, how have you used this opportunity, as I'm sure you're going to call it, as someone that truly adapts to things? How have you used this as an opportunity to grow your business or to influence other people?
Well, I've used this opportunity to become that inspiration I desire to be. I would like to be an inspiration for our future generation. And it's to show the future, although I'm just a girl from Switzerland, from the Alps, but I have already lived and worked in 3 different continents around the world. And through that experience of multicultural working environments, but also different languages, and then again to that point, having different friends, different networks all around the world, I have wanted to be an inspiration for all of my friends, for the big network, by doing these podcasts with David on a weekly basis, by continuing on writing my next books to come, and by truly setting that example that it's all in the mindset. What your mind can perceive, it can achieve. And I'm looking for mentors just like my dear friend David, who have inspired me. I become inspired from you to inspire.
Nice.
And I think that's the key of learning from each other. A true leader, in my mind, creates other leaders. And that is something that I can truly, utterly say David is. And I'm learning from you, but I would like to take these learnings and pass it on. And that's how I see my role. So being an inspiration.
Charlotte, nice to see you again. Hope to see you again soon too. And I agree with you completely. I think we all agree here on the call, everybody at home watching and listening, Dave is a leader who creates other leaders and just inspires and motivates so many of us. I'm curious to know, because every time we see you doing something or involved in something, and I agree with you, we have the ability and we are adapting through technology to connect, right? Because that's what we are. We're human beings and we connect on an emotional level. So seeing each other, being able to look at each other and talk to each other simultaneously, very important for human connection. You always are so ahead of the curve in what you bring to us when we discuss things. Where do you think we're going? Give us a little bit of insight on where you think we're headed next with technology coming out of all this, so that we can continue to build and inspire and connect.
Absolutely. Well, we are truly living this whole digital era. We are in a true digital bubble. If you look at, I've myself had my career. I got experience in the whole manufacturing industry. I worked in automotive for 9.5 years, in the watch industry, consumer goods, medical devices, and you name it, and pharma. So I've really gotten experience in this whole manufacturing industry, and over there, and also looking at my profession, procurement, supply chain of the future. We are thriving with technologies. Businesses currently, we are reliant upon technologies. AI, IoT, they are all names which are currently circulating around our mouths every day. So where are we going? We are heading into an era. I mean, now, look, we are all focused on, very much reliant upon digital communication. So technologies are going to become an even bigger part of our lives, especially the technologies which we have right now. I think they will be more and more embedded within businesses, but also in terms of our connectivity, being approachable, being able to connect with each other in a much easier way. Today David gave us his famous Friday podcast, and he also said, just reach out to the CMO, the CPO. They are just all there. Everybody is on LinkedIn nowadays. Everybody is approachable. And I think we are heading into an era where you don't have this big hierarchical system going on anymore, but you will have a lot more approachability and a lot more courage in the future to just go out and just ask a question.
And Charlie, I'm listening to you, and I teach about a lens, a kaleidoscope, a lens of productivity. Somebody like you look down all your accomplishments and productivity of providing value at such a young age to so many people. In fact, I'm looking at all your accomplishments, and you remind me of that lawyer that goes to heaven, and there's a big celebration, and they're like, why are you celebrating me? I died of a heart attack at 50. And God said, well, that's not true. You're the oldest person ever to live. He goes, what are you talking about? He goes, I looked at your billables. You're 186. You produce so much. You're like over 100 years old of production. But the second lens is accessibility, which is what you just were discussing about. How accessible are we to others? But also by asking, how are we accessing what we want? And of course, you live by a lens of gratitude to find the light, the love, and the lessons. I think it's important for people to look and feel how Charlotte's energy is, because she has that. It's just not the amount of things that you've achieved in your life and the amount of value that you've brought. But it's about 6:30 p.m. in New York right now on a Friday. I know very few people that can come on the office hours Friday at 6:30 p.m. and light up the screen like it's Monday morning at 9 a.m. And I think it's really important for people to see when you're on this practice of productivity, accessibility, and gratitude. And it is a technology in itself. What do you use as a tool, Charlotte, to clear that connection as I talk about, that interference that other people, the ego, the negativity, the focus that causes that interference, so that on Friday at 6:30, my goal in life is to empower other people at 6:30 every Friday to be as happy as you. Then I know I've done my job. What's the secret for you to clear that interference that everyone experiences?
very important, it's mental gratitude and the ability to say thank you and say I love you to the people who are close to you, and definitely give back and be of service. And every day in my job, although I have a corporate job, and I have my passion of speaking and giving back and being there for our future generation with all my heart. And even in my job, I constantly ask, how can I be of service? How can I give back? What else can I do to help? And this helps me to constantly have clarity within my mind. And so definitely this whole motion of giving back, being grateful, but also seeking advice from your mentors. For me, there is nothing better to see David on Instagram Live, to be able to clear my mind, to be able to then speak to my dad. My dad has been my greatest mentor, and then I have 3 mentors, and then a 3rd mentor at work. And he is the one who I need to thank for also having given me this opportunity to become 30 under 30. His slogan has always been, Charlotte, be there, inspire to inspire. And I live with these 3 mentors in my life, and David always helping me to keep mentally focused in what I desire to achieve. Be grateful, because living here alone in Manhattan for this period of time, it's very difficult to make sure you surround yourself with the right people. You know, I have friends all over the world, and for me, finding that right community, that is truly become a challenge. Manhattan is so big, the world is so big, but then so small, because somehow you're at the airport in LA and you suddenly meet a friend from who knows where. So we're saying, but it's a matter of finding the right community and not getting influenced by other people, stopping these negative thoughts. Sometimes you get these weird negative thoughts in your mind, but you must take control of your mind. And that's when I need David, the Instagram live or any live, to be able to come back to normality. I find my greatest frequency. And that's what I've been trying to train my mind like a muscle. And since I started to do that, I've become a lot more happier. And when I am surrounded with these right people, that's when, I have my fullest potential energy. And that's how we met, right? Yeah. March 9th, my birthday.
Yeah, that's right. And big frequency. And I know that when we finally all get together, you'll even expand upon the happiness that you have. Imagine how happy this lady is when they let her outside. This is incredible. Anyway, Charlotte, you're such a joy. As Nick said, you are a true gift, in the true sense of the unconditional gift that we're supposed to give. And anytime you need to talk, you just reach directly out to me. I miss you. I know these people miss you. I can't wait to do our next event in person together. So thank you so much for coming on Office Hours. We'll have you back again, okay?
Please don't forget me. Many kisses.
Never.
Thanks, Charlotte.
Bye, Charlotte. Nice seeing you.
All right.